Hi, Young Artist Showcase. This is Adam Blake, and we are here judging the Young Artist Showcase 2024 challenge number 3, Let There Be Light. I thought this challenge was so cool. I'm usually the judge for challenge number 3, and this one, challenge number 3 is usually my favorite. It's because it uses the you as a choreographer you have to use something different. Oh my god, I'm not wearing my wedding ring. Wait. Okay, that's better. I got done doing dishes a while ago, and so yeah, now I have it on. Great. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Adam Blake. I am a former competitor of Young Artist Showcase. I won in 2011. I was the second winner. I am a choreographer for Disney on Ice. I used to choreograph for the Wolfsburg Autostadt shows with Simone Grigorescu, who's been judging you for the past few weeks. Choreographer for Ringling Brothers, and also choreographer for a whole bunch of Team USA, and the artistic director for Theater on Ice Boston, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and the president of Pro Skaters. So a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats, and a lot of stress. But anyways, I'm here to judge challenge number 3. The biggest thing for me is how the prompt affected your piece. Like that for me is the biggest biggest factor that comes into play within judging this challenge. Is how did you use the prompt? So how did you use light, whether it be the light prop or the actual use of light within your piece? And I, again, like, kudos to Kate and Garrett for coming up with this challenge, because I think it's absolutely brilliant, because you can twist it in so many different ways. And so I loved seeing all the different twists and everything. So yeah, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first one that I'm going to be judging is Riona. Oh my god, I loved this piece. This piece was incredible. I absolutely loved the opening. The camera work was wonderful. It was giving cinematic. Like I felt like I was watching a movie, and the tink tink from the what was it? From, like, at the very beginning of it was just breathtaking, like the entire thing. And the way that you zoomed on your face, and the way that it zoomed in and out, and then when you what was it? And then when you left the lantern by itself, and then the choreography at the boards was incredible. I really enjoyed every single bit of it. The lighting of the entire piece really set the mood. So the way that it was shot, essentially in the dark, was just so cool. And I'm guessing, like, I'm watching this as I'm going through, but I sort of see these other people around just sort of skating in the dark, and like they add to the piece, which is really, really great. I loved the incorporation of the lantern within the dance, like the way that you not only the way that you passed off the lantern from partner to partner was really brilliant. I thought that was just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, just the trading between partners, and then this lift was just breathtaking. Like I absolutely loved it. The speed was incredible. And then the moment where you guys actually have the light coming to light, like I did feel that there was a story here. I felt like, it was a girl sort of like lost in the woods, and, like trying to find, like feeling scared at first, and then all of a sudden, she meets this person who like lives in the woods and shows her the way and shows her that it's not that scary, and then the light comes on, and, she finds joy within the woods. I really loved it. I thought it was just embracing that unknown, and and this Hydro Blade was just absolutely incredible. And then the way that the ending is shot is just brilliant. Like, just the way that the light shines on your face is just so, it had this childlike curiosity, which I absolutely loved. So Riona, I honestly, no notes. I think it was brilliant. I gave you a 15. Like, it was incredible. Like, really, really well done. All right, Alex, your turn. So Alex, really, really well done for, I'm really commend you for joining this competition. Like, I know I was the one that suggested it to you, so I'm really happy that you're doing it. Happy to see another Disney on Ice performer. taking on this competition is always super, super fun. I'm really glad that you chose Marie and Bella. Those two are just absolutely excellent skaters. Like, lines, expression, the way that they skate is just, I've always absolutely adored the way that they skate, and they're just brilliant, brilliant performers. So I really, really commend you on your talent. With this piece, the thing with the light is I really wish that you could have incorporated it a little bit more. Like, say for instance that, I'm doing a piece here, like within this camera, right? And I am just holding a prop like this, and like this. There's not really a lot of change happening within it. There's nothing that the prop is affecting. It's not it's not, for instance, if I was using the light and the light has almost like a repelling force against it, or if it has a pulling magnetic force, at the moment it's just being so stagnant and so in such a static character that it's almost, you could have done the piece without it. And that's the main thing that I have with this piece that is kind of like that I need more of, is that you essentially could have done this piece without the light. And also I really would have loved a little bit more interaction between the two of them. Like, I mean, there was a moment where, they essentially sort of cheersed the light together, but in a sense it didn't really, they never really affected each other's skating. So I think what was it? I just wanted a little bit more as far as what the challenge was, which was with the light. And because at the end of the day, with what they're holding, they could have really been holding anything, like a guard, or they could have been holding an ice cream cone or something like that. It was very much, the light didn't really have an effect on the skater or the skating. So while the skating is beautiful and while the lines are great, I just wish that there was a little bit more to the challenge. Now, so I want to talk about this little blurb at the very, very end. I want to urge you to be careful about this type of sort of messaging at the end, especially when it's text, when it's just sort of a blurb at the end. In a sense, like, those type of messagings, I feel like should be kept to yourself, especially within a competition setting, just because it may come across as point grabby. And I understand, and I can sympathize that perhaps it was something that was close to you and that something did happen. But I'll give you an example of a choreographer who is actually judging the competition this season. Simone Grigorescu did this beautiful piece with Garrett Kling and Garrett Gosselin, and it was this beautiful piece that it was a male number, and it was emotionally moving, but the people that were closest to her were the only ones that knew that it was about the AIDS epidemic. And it was so special because people could watch it and they could interpret it any way that they felt that they wanted to interpret it. So by sort of having a blurb like that at the very end, you're sort of funneling people into thinking a certain way. And whereas I feel like you should let the piece sort of speak for itself. And, we've all done pieces that, that mean something to us in that sort of a sense. But I would say, like, let the piece do the talking rather than having that blurb at the end, just in the future and all that. But yeah, Alex, well done. I'm really happy with what you did. I'm happy with what you're putting out. So really, really well done so far this season. And so for this challenge number 3, I gave you an 8. All right, here we go with Belle. Hi, Belle. All right, so let me pull up my notes. Really, really well done with this piece. Like, I was like, at the very beginning really, really had me going. Like, it really, really set a tone with the lighting. I loved how you lit up the ice and, like, took that step down, like, with it, and then, using the light in a dark rink. And I loved how you used the corners of the stage, and I loved how you used the corners of back. You really used what you had like in that setting, and I really commend you on it. I absolutely loved the little stop motion as you were like creeping in towards your partner, like the person that was about to be abducted or attacked. I really enjoyed that. I think yeah, you really totally understood the parameters of the rink and where you were filming, and loved the filming effects. I loved the faces. I think it would have been effective like in the dark. And I think you would agree with that. I think like given the opportunity, I think you would have like gone complete blackout in the rink and been able to do that. And so I felt like you were operating within the parameters that you were given, and so I totally commend you on that. So I think that concept is really cool, and I'd love for you to keep going with that. I love the camera work. I think just the way that it's shot is so dynamic and really well done in giving direction for how to shoot this piece. And I like that you aren't doing camera cuts, that it's going from person to person with it, so which is really cool. The only thing is, I'd say about the time when you started doing the partner work, that's when we started losing the whole flashlight aspect about it. Like there were some flashlight parts that stayed in, but we kind of lost the whole flashlight aspect, and it just became sort of like mirrored choreo in a sense. And we sort of lost the effectiveness of the flashlights. But honestly, like I think you did a really great job in incorporating the light within the piece. And I also really like the use of partner work. I think it's really cool. It shows like at the very beginning and towards the middle of the piece, you had, you know, parts where you guys were separated and doing stuff, and then you're together and doing stuff. Now, like this ending is what I loved. I loved this sort of like the way that you shot it at the very beginning, and I think you kind of lost a little bit of that sort of movie style towards the middle, and then you bookended it at the end. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of what you did at the beginning throughout the piece, rather than sort of like have this tone set, then kind of leave it and then come back to it. Because I think the more camera tricks that you do, especially when you set it up that way at the very beginning, I think the more effective it could be. So, but yeah, so I loved it. I thought it was great. I love the quirkiness behind it. I think the movement was really cool. And yeah, so as far as stars, I'm going to give you an 11.5. All right, great job, Belle. All right, this one is for Meryl. Meryl. Oh my God. I've been following Young Artist Showcase for this season for a while, and this one right here was your game changer. Like it was your master. Like it was like your this was like it. This was it. This was yours. I absolutely loved it. I think that your concept was just absolutely brilliant. I loved this. I loved the unravel. I thought it was just absolutely epic. The way that you were using the prop the entire time, and like you really embraced the boundary that it created. You like the pull and the way that the wrapping and just the way that you constantly used it, and then you're doing elements within it to where you're doing lifts and you're doing tricks, and regardless of whether or not that takes guts and bravery and R&D to be able to do that stuff. And then the speed in which that you guys had and doing these elements, and like last year my theater team and we did stuff with chains, and then, oh my God, this twizzle was just incredible. But so we had to do a whole lot of R&D for like some of the things that we did for that piece. But the way that you did this was just brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Loved the partner work. The only weak part for me, like the only part where you kind of lost me a little bit, was we kind of mimed fighting a little bit. and then the butterfly over the back was a little bit on the low side, but everything else other than that was just so beautifully done. I think that if I would love to see this done as like a professional piece, like I would love to see this, like I would love to see you like really keep going with this piece and really find, because I mean, I would pay for it. I would pay to see this piece. Like this is a really really amazing number. The part where you guys are on your heels and coming back over here this way, I'm kind of seeing something that I didn't see beforehand. That you guys are like stepping, like trying not to step in the dark and keeping in the light. So maybe that's what you guys were trying to do. I don't know, but I loved the ending. I thought the ending was amazing. But overall, Meryl, like this piece blew my mind. I didn't know what to expect, and you just blew me out of the water. And so for that, I'm giving you a 13.5. Brilliant job, Meryl. Excellent work. All right, up next we have Gillian. Hi, Gillian. Good to have you in this competition. Really, really happy to see you doing Young Artist Showcase this season. So your piece. So I want to let you know that I have one of these little hover balls. I was gonna try to use them in something, but then I couldn't end up doing R&D with it just because my dog kept trying to eat this little hover ball, and so I quickly stopped R&Ding. What I can tell you with the limited R&D that I had was I can't tell you where it will go once it comes out of my hand. I have no idea the trajectory of it. I have no idea how to manipulate it, how to control it, how to do anything with this light up ball. I have no clue. So this is the thing that I have that I'm sort of like having like a pause with how I'm supposed to judge this, because there's a couple of things with, for instance, with Yevon Mock, when she did Young Artist Showcase and she did this beautiful piece with the silk. A lot of it was improv. A lot of it was made up on the spot and was reactionary to what the silk was. The thing with that was that it was Yevon that was skating it. I really commend that your skaters, they took your direction well. You could see the whimsy, you could see the character, and you could see what the intention was behind it. However, everything is very reactionary, and there is a legitimacy to choreo exploration and play. Like there is. The only thing is that there's not a lot of control with it. There's not a lot of things that you can do to sort of predict where it's going to be. So a lot of it is reactionary, And again, like, I mean, if you watch a lot of choreographers, there are a lot of choreographers that do that choreograph in a tell the dancers react to a prompt. But for me, especially within this competition, and especially like within the challenge of what it is to work with light, I think it kind of missed the challenge a little bit, because it was reacting to a ball and not necessarily to light. I mean, I guess like you can use the ball as a figurative thing for light or joy, or what joy is, or like the ball is joy and joy is light. But I mean, that is a little bit of a stretch as far as that. So the thing that I had a little bit of trouble with is just I wish you had a prop that you could manipulate, or that could manipulate you on a specific and consistent basis, rather than it just being sort of a movie that was cut together of things that happened, you know, because in a sense the piece was, here are clips of things that happened when we played, which is cool and which has legitimacy to it, but it's just I think structurally I wish that there was just more. And again, you hit for the fences. Like, you really, like, that's a hard prop to use. I have one, and I don't think I'll use it. But that one's a hard one. So so for me, I just really wish that there was a little bit of aspect of control within it that you could have just given it a little bit more structure. So with your piece, I'm giving you a 9 for this one. But yeah, excellent job. I want to continue to encourage you to play. Like, I love how you're whimsical. I love how you use elements of play within your choreo, and I want you to keep that. Really, really well done. Can't wait to see what you have for the next challenge. But yeah, excellent work, Gillian. Okay, Vlad. Holy smokes, Vlad. The opening was so good. Well, I mean, this entire piece, I can't have enough good things to say about it. Like, you know, you opened with this really, really sense of mystery and all that, and I absolutely love Sunlux. Sunlux is an incredible band. I was worried at the very beginning, actually. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh no, the building is completely light, but then boom, it changes into darkness, and then the switch off where you weren't actually there, and then you're back there because of the light change. Brilliant. And I love how you kept the light in frame the entire time. The steps going across were great. I loved how the lantern was incorporated within the choreo. Like, there was there's a couple of shots where, you know, the lantern wasn't in there, but you still had the light emanating from the lantern on your faces. So, like, the light was always a part of the piece. And like, even when you guys skated away, the light, like, you used light in many different ways. You used it as a prop, but you also used it as ambiance. You used it at the opening of your piece, towards the middle of the piece, and then the end of the piece. And loved the translucent work as you as a ghost, where you turned around, and that musicality was just on point, was fantastic as well. And then you had, like, this moment where you take her hands and you put it on there, and then all of a sudden, boom, the light just goes crazy, and it becomes I don't know if you've seen the anime Your Name, but it becomes very much a Your Name, like a meeting at twilight sort of a thing, where I guess you were a ghost, but now you're physical, and now you can interact with your friend, and like, who had gone away. And I loved this. I do wish to see this on a very professional level, and I like, skating wise, it's because you're a tough one to match, and I think because of the way that you skate, it's very special. And I really would love to see some really, really great edge quality sort of match what you have. With that, she did an incredible job. Like, she really, really did an incredible job, and, like, her expression was incredible. And honestly, the ending was just, it sold it for me. Like, you told a story from beginning, middle, end. It was just like, it was the whole thing. It was the whole package. So, I mean, there's really nothing else for me to say other than you get a 15, boy. I mean, well done. I think you did an incredible job, and I am so excited for you. And yeah, keep doing what you do. All right. Thanks, Vlad.